Hello, my name is David Hayden. I'm a local photographer. I operate under the name of Pueblo West Photography, and today I'd like to take you on a tour of some of my favorite places around Lake Pueblo State Park. Our tour begins at the west end of the reservoir off Swallows Road. You take Highway 50 out west and you take the exit left onto Swallows Road, and you just follow that road down until you get to the reservoir. Timing is everything, regardless of when you visit the reservoir, if it's spring, fall, winter, summer, morning, evening, it changes all the time. So it's a fresh experience every time you go to the reservoir. Just pick a spot and enjoy it. Next on our journey is the Railroad Maintenance Road. You actually get to the Railroad Maintenance Road by getting off Highway 50 on McCulloch. Take McCulloch around to South Nichols Road. South Nichols Road takes you straight into the reservoir. Then before you actually get to the entry, there's a road off to the right, and that is the Railroad Maintenance Road. And these next set of pictures are taken from various places along that road. Once on Railroad Maintenance Road, you'll find several stops. Some of them will take you to trails where you can walk down the reservoir. Other parts of the road get much closer to the reservoir. I can tell you this from personal experience, having gone late at night to get these pictures. I didn't have a flashlight with me, and when I was done taking pictures, it was very dark out there, and I actually had to hit the remote on my car to flash the lights and honk the horn so I could find my way back to the car. So if you get out there, just exercise caution. If you're in the evening, take a flashlight and so on. Railroad Maintenance Road gives you access to the wildlife area surrounding the reservoir, and there's just a ton of stuff to see there, and you can spend all day just going off on different trails, walking around, looking at the animals, the sights, and so on. Just be careful out there, be respectful of it, and walk around and enjoy it. The road's a little rough, a little bumpy. It'll kind of beat up your car, so you have to drive slow. And you'll probably want to wash it when you get back because it will be covered with dust and dirt because it's a very dusty road. After you return on the railroad maintenance road and get back to Pueblo Reservoir Road, which is an extension of South Nichols, you just head a little bit to the east and you come to the entry. And then from the entry, you'll be required to have a park pass to go beyond that point. But once you're there, you can take many roads, many things to see. Our first stop after the entrance, we're going to go down North Marina Road and head down to the marina. As you drive down the road to the North Marina, you'll see a road off to the right, which is the West Fishing Road, and that takes you down to the West Fishing area. Gets you very close to the water, and here are some images of some things you might see while you're down there. If you head down to the West Fishing area, chances are you won't see sunflowers like this. This picture was taken in 2017. It was a particularly rainy spring, probably, maybe what caused it. But for whatever reason, those sunflowers just were everywhere. It was spectacular. Hopefully, it'll happen again. It's important when you get to these areas that you actually get out of the car and walk around. Like all areas or most areas in the park, you can get out of your car, find a trail, walk down to the water, walk around into the wildlife areas. Of course, caution should be exercised. There are, animals and snakes. Not that I've ever seen any, but I've heard about them. But definitely seen deer and little lizards and so on like that. So get out of your car, make the best of it. After leaving the West Fishing Road, it just loops around, takes you back, puts you back on North Marina Road. So once you're on North Marina Road, you can head south again towards the North Shore Marina. As you can see, there's lots of campgrounds and beautiful camping areas. If you like to camp, you can go down there. The next sets of pictures are from the North Shore Marina, which is just a fascinating place for watching weather changes and so on. The North Shore Marina is definitely one of my favorite places to visit. I like to look at the boats, but I particularly like it around sunrise in the morning. I get some of my favorite shots down there, particularly when there's fog on the water. Obviously, the snow can be very interesting down there as well. This next set of slides is a little out of sequence in that you actually have to leave the park and get over to Purcell Boulevard either from Highway 50 or some of the other side roads that take you over to Purcell. Then you take Purcell on down and it'll take you down to Liberty Point. Liberty Point is a great overlook where you can get kind of a view of the whole reservoir. At roughly 350 feet above the water, you get a spectacular view from Liberty Point overlooking not just the reservoir, but you can see the Spanish Peaks, the Wet Mountains, the Front Range, and so on. And it's a great place to spend an evening. And as you'll see in the next picture, it's a good place to shoot the supermoon. And it's also a kind of a fun place to watch the fireworks, although it does get crowded up there. The higher elevation at Liberty Point gives you a nice view of Pueblo from north to south. As you scan around, actually, if you take some binoculars or a little telescope, you can pick out a lot of the landmarks and special places around the city from up there. About halfway between the Nichols Road entrance and the entrance off Reservoir Road, which is off of Highway 96, is Juniper Break Campground. That's where these next sets of pictures from. I was out there one winter morning. The fog was right. It was just a spectacular day to be shooting pictures. Also, kind of in the middle of the area between the two park entrances is the Sailboard Road area. You turn off at Juniper Road, you head down towards the water, and it's a little bit of a steep road going down. Not much fun on an icy day, but generally that just isn't an issue. And it's a nice place to go down and picnic, watch the waters, see the boats, and so on. Clearly, the weather has a lot to do with how you experience the reservoir. And down from the sailboard area, you can really kind of get some beautiful sunrises. You can see the dragon's breath on the water on the cold, frosty mornings. You can see the high water banging up against the walls on the windy days. The N1 Cove is located to the east of the Sailboard Road and much closer to the park entrance on the uh, east side, the one that heads out off on Reservoir Road. It's kind of a steep and rough road going down to it, but it's a favorite spot for people to go down, uh, play in the water, set up camping, go picnicking, and so on. The N1 Cove is a great area for not just viewing the reservoir itself and looking around. You can walk up actually onto the dam itself and get a view looking up the lake, but it's also a good place to monitor the water levels. As you can see in the two lower pictures, the one on the left, the water is fairly high, almost covering an island, but you look at the picture in the lower right, and that island is just about completely covered, and the water is coming up the road and is just about submerged to sign an information sign. So it's a nice place to just sort of monitor the reservoir, particularly the water levels. Just before you exit the park on the east entrance, you come to the road that takes you to the swim beach and the Anticline Pond. If you stay on the road and continue out of the park, go back down to Highway 96 and loop around, it'll take you to Valco Ponds. These areas are all considered park areas and park passes are required, and they are well worth the visit. The next couple of sets of pictures were taken down by the Spillway. Obviously, it changes depending on the time of day and the time of year. It's a beautiful place to see the Milky Way at certain times of the year. It's dark enough you can actually see it with the naked eye. When you take the road that takes you by the picnic area, follow it around, it'll end up taking you to the Anticline Pond, amongst other things, red tail picnic area, so on. It's a really nice place to just walk on the trail that goes around the park. You can walk on trails that take you down to the river, and you can spend an afternoon there and just have a great time. Of course, Lake Pueblo State Park would not be possible without the Arkansas River, and there is lots of access to the Arkansas River from various places in and around the park. And there's trails that'll take you down there, there's fishing, and it's a great place to take pictures. There are actually 3 ponds to the Valco Ponds, and it's one of my favorite places to go early in the morning. I like the sunrises. I like to watch the birds and photograph them if they're cooperative. And from the trails around here, you can get over to the Arkansas River and wander all around and just get lost for the morning. It's a great way to spend an early morning. It's usually very calm. The water's usually calm. If you stay on Juniper Road and head south past the entrance and do not exit on Reservoir Road going out to the highway, but just stay on Juniper Road, it will eventually take you to the South Shore Marina, the second marina, and also full of lovely boats and scenery. After you exit the park and you get back on Highway 96 and head west towards Westcliff, you will drive by several areas and access roads go into the wildlife areas of the park. These last few pictures were taken from those wildlife areas, and if you get a chance, go visit. It's a beautiful place to spend some time. These are the last few pictures of the short tour of Lake Pueblo State Park. When you get a chance, go out and visit the park in person. It is well worth the time and effort. You will not be disappointed. And again, I'm David Hayden with Pueblo West Photography, and I want to thank Lori Cozell and the Pueblo City County Library District for encouraging me to put this program together.